Hi. The course of today concerns characteristics of radio news. Uh, the objectives of the course are to develop an idea of radio news, to understand writing scripts for radio news, to make the difference between print and radio news. Radio is a mass communication tool to inform, educate, and entertain the masses. It can reach people of different backgrounds. Radio is a medium that has grown leaps and bounds with people using online radio services. The traditional headset is now replaced by mobile phones and other devices. News is defined as information that is new. It is also unusual to people. Stanley Walker defined it as most unpredictable than the rains. Sometimes it is repetition of old news but with new characters. News is often characterized by values, which we have seen in the previous course. The information shared by radio news is short and presents a factual report of political, social, educational, business, and sport events. How can we write a good radio news script? UNESCO has documented suggestions on radio production to ensure the quality of radio scripts among them, the use of easy words and colloquial language. Colloquial language means the language of the community, the language most people use. This helps in easy understanding by people. Sentences also must be short. The radio script must be precise in order not to confuse the listeners. The rhythm of the speech should hold the listener's attention. A radio script should highlight the element of immediacy. Among the characteristics of radio news, as we have said before, immediacy. Immediacy plays a cardinal role in the virtue of news as people are interested in the recent event in their local communities, state, nation, etc. Radio provides news to the listeners on an immediate basis. It gives information as to when the event occurs. People turn into the radio to listen to updates. Making images. The radio is sightless medium, which means that we only listen to the voice. We don't have an image like TV, for example. So the listener listens to the broadcast over the radio and imagines visuals in their mind. Imagery is the most potent tool of radio, which helps stimulate the imagination. The content of the news can be hard news or soft news. Local medium. Radio can be used in local areas for the people of the community. It informs people about the latest happening in their local language. Low-cost medium. The most significant advantage of radio news is that it is available to people at local cost. The radio sets are available to ordinary people in low prices. The common people, it reaches the common people at a low cost. The advancement of technology make radio production and transmission at minimum possible rates. The radio holds the edge by reaching it to illiterates. Literacy is not an obligation for listening to radio. What is between radio news and print news? There are many differences, but we can mention some of them. First, the news item broadcasted on radio is for the ear and not for the eye. The news item presented has to be lively and in conventional manner. On the other hand, print news is written for the eye and not for the ears. The print news story is a factual and detailed report of the event. The story is not written in conventional language, rather it is written in a formal language, academic language. The radio news is short and simple. It contains 5 to 6 sentences, giving a brief of the happening of the event. The broadcaster maintains a moderate speed of reading the news item, which helps listeners to comprehend the news item, whereas the print news story is a detailed news piece giving comprehensive details of the events happening. The statement celebrities are covered in detail with facts and figures. The broadcast news is not tangible and cannot be reread, which means if you miss the radio news, you cannot get it again. The print news gives an edge over the broadcast news by providing the news in a printed form and can be referred wherever required. The radio's greatest strength is immediacy. The event is reported as soon as it happens. The active voice is used to report the news story. The script is written to give the impression that the event is happening now. In comparison to print news, the news is reported the next day in the morning. The print news is a report of past events. The function of immediacy lacks in print news as the reader waits for the detailed report for the next day. In radio, as we have said before, literacy is not an obligation. Illiterate people can have recent updates and information through the broadcaster's conventional voice, which helps them better understand the message. On the other side, the print news doesn't overcome the problem of illiteracy. To read the information in newspapers and magazines, the person has to be literate. To conclude, we can say that radio is a medium for ears, and the style of reading the news holds prominence. The style of presentation by the newsreader can make or break the story. The radio news has the element of immediacy, capable of forging images in the listener's minds, and the print media news and radio news differs in their writing style, timeline, rich, and medium's nature. Thus, radio news and print news has their relevance according to the medium. Thank you for your